In this video, looking at a small wreck. It's well broken up by now. It's been down there for quite a while. You'll see that one of the occupational hazards of fishing near wrecks is that people lose anchors, and you'll see at least one. I think there might be two in this video. So it is visited reasonably often. Towards the end of this video, you'll see fish actively feeding, and someone drops a bait down on a rig, and you'll see what it looks like as the fish pursue that bait. Thank you. As the frame is lowered, you can see that this wreck is well broken up. There's not much left, in fact, above the sand. What you can see in the frame at the moment is a number of wire ropes, stainless wire ropes, a number of other pieces of the wreck. And this is a silver rope that suddenly appeared. In the background there you can see some of the remains of the main engine room of what was once the wreck. The fish that's approaching now is a batfish. That's a hump-headed batfish, I suspect. Here's our silver rope again. It certainly looks to have been cut. So we're following the silver rope down to the bottom to see what's at the other end. Sure enough, as we touch down, if anyone's lost an anchor, I know where it is. You can see it's foul on one of the steer ropes, and it would have been almost impossible to get that off. Okay, the fish that's coming in now is a starry triggerfish. They're quite an aggressive species. Swimming through in the top left-hand corner was a Queensland school mackerel. In the background there is a slaty brim, and here's our red emperor, juvenile red emperor, coming in to have a look. The fish on the bottom of the background, just lying on the bottom, getting out of the current, is a painted sweet lip. Here comes a large gold spot cod. The colours these guys have varies quite a bit. You'll see this one's quite light in colour, no doubt because of the sand background. These gold spot cod will often just look at the bait for long periods of time before they make up their mind what they're going to do. Here he is again. Just checking out that bait very carefully. At this stage the fish are quite apprehensive about the bait. They're not really feeding freely at all. Just coming into the screen now is a large ray. There's a Queensland school mackerel in the background. There's a painted sweet lip. Just note how he feeds. He actually takes some of the sand in through his mouth and spits it out through his gills and extracts the food. And bait fish there. Now this is just a slow motion of that Queensland school mackerel. They're very common, and of the mackerel species they tend to stay closest to the bottom. This is just looking at some other parts of the wreck, just moving the frame around a little bit. Not much left. Those are painted sweet lip, slaty brim, morwong. Another very common species near the wrecks. Coral trout in the background. Another one, so there's a couple of them there. See the bait. And I've just moved the camera facing away from the wreck at the moment, and in come the Starry triggers. There's a number of them that's coming in. The other fish, the dark fish with the white, is a yellow-tailed angelfish, and he starts to feed along with the Starry triggerfish. Fish in there with him is a saddle-tailed snapper, largemouth nannygai. You can see the distinctive black marking just in front of the tail. Starry triggerfish are certainly well up there in the most aggressive species, and certainly high in the pecking order. They usually get first crack at the bait. Some small trevally in the background, and a parrotfish, a surf parrotfish. He's just looking to pick up a few of the scraps from the largemouth nannygai feeding. There's a remora, suckerfish. Now we've got, 4 species there at the moment. Got this juvenile red emperor, there's yellowtail angelfish, there's largemouth nannygai, remora, and starry triggerfish. And we're starting to get more and more feeding activity. The more activity there is, the more fish come in. And what you just saw was a fishing line just dropped down. And there was a whole group of triggerfish following it. If you watch carefully, there is, I've taken this frame by frame. Down comes the sinker in the background, closely followed by the bait, and in hot pursuit are some triggerfish, with more to come. Once it gets to the bottom, there's lots of feeding going on until the bait is completely stripped away.